Delegation, handing things off to your team to allow you to do what only you need to be doing in your business. It's powerful and it's necessary, but how do you take a task from delegation to actually letting your team do it the right way? Well, let's dive in and talk about that today. Thomas Joyner with Business on Purpose here. Thanks so much for joining and tuning in here for a little bit. So last week, I sat in on an interview and we were discussing how the candidate had implemented change in places that he's worked with before. And he introduced us to his process for delegating and training tasks. And I just kind of started smiling as he basically explained to us what we ask our business owners to do when they let go of certain tasks and hand it off to the rest of the team. You know, he explained it in really simple terms in a 4-step process that I want to walk you through today. And I thought it was really clear, really accurate, and just hit close to home for what we ask you to do. So first thing, there's a directive, right? A verbal communication of what is being asked to do, what's being asked to own from a delegation standpoint. If you want someone to take over invoicing all new clients and getting their payment set up, they have to be told it's their responsibility now. Hey, I need you to take over invoicing of all new clients and getting their payments set up. You know, it never fails. We hear business owners complain all the time that things aren't getting done, and yet when we drill down, they've taught them how to do the task. They've even let them do it from time to time, but they've never communicated, hey, this is now your job role. It's 100% or however much you desire of that responsibility, and the execution of the task is handed over. No, we just kind of say, hey, here's how you do this, and we expect them to know that this is their responsibility. No, there has to be a directive that tells them what the expectation now is and what it will be moving forward. From there comes coaching, a fully built out process that explains step by step how you would like it done, leaving absolutely no margin for error, leaving nothing out. Not saying, oh, well, they should know how to do that part. I promise you, it's worth your time every step to actually put the steps in place with pictures and videos, teaching them how to do it. Maybe doing it alongside them and coaching them to do it exactly the way you want it done. Equipping them and encouraging them as you reinforce that directive, that communication. Third thing, support and accountability. You know, what happens if they have questions? Here's resources for them. Here's when we will check back up on you, asking them at team meetings if it's done and how it's going, asking if there's anything missing from the process that may make it more clear and easier on them, and then supporting them as they take it over. Even understanding how long they'll need before it's time for them to take it all over, doing these staff check-ins and onboarding that we talk about all the time. That's the support they need. And that will really ultimately ensure that they're ready for the last step, which is, hey, simply just do it. Take it over. Own it. It's their responsibility that has been communicated and coached on and supported and then ultimately owned by them. Now, let's pause for a second here, because typically we jump from step 1 to step 4, right? That directive and delegation, and then, hey, you take it and own it. But what does that lead to? Well, it leads to frustration and decreased performance. And ultimately, you thinking your employee is less capable than they actually are because they haven't been equipped to do the task that you're asking them to do. If you skip the coaching step, there's accountability and support, but there's no clear, tangible process for them to use. All right, let's flip that around. If you skip the accountability and support, there is a process in place, but there's not a feedback loop to understand if they actually understand the task and if they need any help. If they're kind of stuck somewhere and they don't quite understand, no, you've given them the process, but you've got to support them along the way. You see, all 4 steps seamlessly go together. They must all be completed, and I can hear it now. Thomas, this is going to take forever. And my answer, well, yeah, but it's worth it. It doesn't have to take forever. If it helps you get something off your plate and done effectively day after day after day, it's worth your time. Because you're not delegating something so that you can own it again in 30 days or in 2 weeks. No, you want this off your plate for a long, extended period, as long as you want it, to free you up for something else. Is it business development or a new role that only you can fill and that your business ultimately needs you to fill? You've got to make sure it's done the right way. Make sure that you communicate all steps. Don't skip steps. Direct and communicate. Coach them up. offer support and accountability, then free them up to do it and own it. That's it. That's how you delegate. That's how you liberate yourself and your business from chaos. That's what it's all about.